Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. I have finally cut my hair after a few months of saying, I need to cut my hair. And it's been a while since it's been this short, and I don't know what to do with it. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It's just nice not having it on my shoulders anymore, because that was getting very annoying and a little bit overstimulating. Anyway, today's video, I wanted to do something that we haven't done for quite a while, which is having a dive and looking at some bad women's anatomy, because I always find it quite amusing. Kind of sad, but also incredibly amusing. So I thought that we would do that together today. But before we do get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Sam. I appreciate you and your support so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat. Starts at as little as £1 a month, and I appreciate it a lot. And I also want to let you know that for this video, I am partnering with Geology, and I will tell you a little bit more about them shortly. Okay, let's get into some bad women's anatomy. First up, we have these screenshots of a TikTok that's POV, you're pregnant and panicking about how painful labor is going to be. But then you learn about God's brilliant design for childbirth and realize your body was designed to block pain receptors during labor. And she captioned it, no gimmicks, just the facts. Ooh, honey. Ooh, honey, you are in for a surprise. But here's the thing that gets me about this, is that I just want to know how you are going to sit here and say that childbirth isn't painful because our bodies are designed to block out the pain receptors after we have listened to millions of people talk about how painful childbirth is. Millions of people have gone through giving birth, and I don't think any of them have ever said, least painful experience of my life. The pain receptors did not go off, unless maybe they've had an epidural and a fuckload of other drugs, then maybe it'll hurt a little bit less. But I really don't know how you're gonna sit here and say that we are designed to not feel pain during childbirth, because that's not even remotely true. How are you gonna disregard so many people because it's convenient for you? That's wild. It is universally known that childbirth is one of the most painful things that a person can go through. And also, it is one of the most, lethal things that people can go through. A lot of people die during childbirth, and, that's why giving birth in hospitals is very handy and a good and safe thing to do, and something that you should definitely do, because childbirth can go very wrong. You can bleed out, you can tear, so much can go badly. Pain, blood, everything. If you think that childbirth is going to be easy and blocking out the pain, good luck. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck. We're off to a great start. Next up, we have a Reddit post that reads, there was another guy, not Shark Tank, who tried to invent some kind of vagina glue so girls could get up in the morning and glue their lips shut instead of worrying about menstrual products at all. Then when they had to pee, the stream of urine would unseal the lips and flush out all the blood. After you wipe, you reapply and glue shut until the next time. I don't know how many men he worked with on the idea before someone explained basic fucking biology to this guy, but there were an alarming number of men who thought it was a great idea. That's... what? I'm sorry. What? What did I just read? How was there even one man who thought of this? You know what? Why are men thinking about this in the first place? Cis men, stay out of it, all right? This isn't your area of expertise or somewhere where you should be involved at all. Clearly. Why would you think this? I love they came up with this idea of glue so you wouldn't have to worry about menstrual products. Then that makes it a menstrual product. I feel like using glue would firstly, ow. Secondly, that's way more intrusive. Feels like so much more of a hassle and more time consuming. And even if it worked, just seems like the worst option. Pads, tampons, cuts, and period pants are fine. They are perfectly good options. I don't really think that we need any more options. I don't think they can really get any more convenient than that, other than if you're taking the contraceptive pill every day so you don't get your period at all, I don't think there's really much else you can do. And I think that maybe these cis men should stay out of it and not try to figure out how we can glue our labia shut. How are there multiple men working on this? I don't understand who came up with the idea, why they come up with the idea, why they continued working on it. Like, none of it makes sense at all. Just, what? Here's another Reddit post that reads, yeah, I mean, an IUD is something inside your butt that releases hormones. Hormones 100% have an effect on your mood. Almost every woman who has started birth control while we've dated has broken up with me a month later. An IUD is something that goes, where? Do you think that we poop out babies? Is that what you're gonna say next? If you think that the IUD goes in your butt, does that mean you think that that's where babies come out? What's happening? How is that something that anyone thought and wrote out? And this someone has supposedly been in a relationship with several women who have been on birth control, which implies that this man has had sex with several women and thinks that an IUD goes in your butt. What? Oh, So I think I can think of a few reasons why these relationships aren't sticking, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the hormones that the IUDs are producing. Also, copper IUDs are a hormone-free birth control. So a lot of IUDs don't even release hormones in the first place. You can't even be blaming on that. Also, if they were going in your butt, they're not going to work at all. So that's... Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think the birth control is the problem here. Like, hormonal birth control, sure, like, can have some effects on your body. There are some side effects of different hormonal birth control, as there are side effects of literally every medication. And it sucks that we have to go through such side effects, but it's very rare that it's going to mess with your emotions enough to make you break up with someone after a month. Like, there's other shit going on there. Don't blame the birth control. It's definitely something else. Probably, you know, might have something to do with the fact that you don't understand female anatomy at all, and you are possibly invalidating your partner's emotions and blaming it on their birth control instead of validating their emotions and communicating, because that seems to be sort of what's being implied here. Oh my god. Hormones do definitely change the way your body works in a lot of ways, and one of the ways that hormones impact me a lot is that I get hormonal acne. That is something that has recently started occurring for me. I've been on contraception since I was 15, and I recently came off it for the first time in that's almost a decade. That's 9 years of my life I've been on contraception. And so my body is now getting used to actually having a cycle that is not impacted by external hormones and things. And something that has brought on is hormonal acne. And that is something that I find very frustrating. And that is where today's video partner, Geology, becomes your best friend. Geology is a 30-time skin, hair, and body care company that has over 10,000 5-star reviews and is a skincare brand that has helped me significantly. Before I started going through this hormonal acne thing, I was struggling with acne from just moving to London. That completely messed with my skin. I've had mostly clear skin most of my life. I moved to London and the water is hard here, the air is polluted, and it just caused me to break out a lot. I spent my first 3 years here trying so many different skincare products and skincare routines, just trying to get it under control, and nothing worked until Geology. And it managed to keep my skin really clear. And when I do get hormonal breakouts, which obviously happens on a regular monthly cycle, it keeps it to a minimum and it doesn't let it get like out of control or painful. It is a very simple and easy to use step-by-step routine that is catered just for you. You go to their website and you fill out a little survey about your skin type and what you're looking for, and it'll come up with a little step-by-step routine for you. And in your little easy personalized skin routine, you get a face wash that you use morning and night. You get a moisturizing morning cream, which also includes an SPF that you use every morning, an eye cream that you use every night, and a retinol night cream, which is my favorite thing in the entire world. It is so silky, it is so smooth, it is so moisturizing. And retinol is fantastic because it helps speeds up skin cell turnover, so it does help with acne. It also helps with scarring and dark spots and texture and all of that, which is fantastic, and it makes my skin feel so good. And then you can also get some extras. Like I get this vitamin C serum that also helps with acne scarring, which is something that I've developed since moving here and breaking out all the time. Geology is also completely vegan and cruelty free, which is something that is very important to me, and I know to a lot of you as well. So yeah, if you want to try Geology for yourself, which I highly recommend, then you can use the link in the description or the QR code up on screen with the code Kiwi70, and you will get 70% off your first award-winning skincare set, as well as an extra 30% off any additional product, which is so good. You do not want to miss out on this deal. Geology is incredible and I absolutely love them and I'm obsessed with them, so don't miss out. Thank you so much, Geology, for partnering with me for today's video, and let's get back into it. Here is a fun one from r/ask Reddit that is just, if you were revamping the human body and were to give boobs an actual useful function instead of just sex appeal, what would you have them do? This has to be a joke, right? Like, no one is asking this question seriously, right? Like, we all we are all aware that boobs' only purpose is to produce milk and feed babies, right? Like, that's literally why they exist. We are all aware of that, right? They don't exist for sex appeal. That's not a thing. We know that, right? Right? This is a joke, right? Are lesbians mostly asexual? It's hard to have sex without a dick, and they don't produce much testosterone. What increases the need for sex? This implies that they don't think women get aroused. Like, this implies that women don't want to have sex and don't feel any sex drive, like, at all. Do you think just being near a penis, like, suddenly makes women feel aroused? Like, that's not how any of this works. And if you think that sex is exclusively penetration, I feel so bad for any person you have ever slept with and will ever sleep with, because that is sad. That's not what sex is. That's not the most enjoyable part of sex. Most people with vaginas do not get off from penetration alone. There has to be some sort of external stimulation as well in order for it to result in climax. So if you were thinking that sex needs a penis, you're wrong. And also there are alternatives to that should you still want penetration existing within a lesbian relationship. Yeah, some people don't even like penetration at all. That's not even something that has to come into sex at all. So bit of a yikes on that one, my guy. Testosterone really has nothing to do with arousal and sex drive. And you don't need a man to have sex. Lesbians tend to actually have more successful and better sex. So speaking of people not knowing how sex works, and thinking that penetration is the only thing that exists within sex, we have this text conversation. I need to take a deep breath before I read this. Whoa, prepare yourselves. Do you like a big dick in your clit though? Damn, that would hurt. You should maybe search up what a clit is. But would you like it if your clit was slowly stretched out by a dildo in different sizes? Do you know what a clit is? Well, you know what I mean. Your pussy. If you do not know the difference between a vagina, and a clit, you shouldn't be having sex. Like, if you don't know female anatomy, like, at all, maybe you shouldn't be having sex. I think that you should do some research. You should have a conversation. Like, there's nothing wrong with not having had sex before. That's fine. Like, here you're very, like, it's very much being like, I've never had sex before, but I'm going to pretend that I have, so I'm going to ask you these questions that seem reasonable. If you at least own that, because you sound ridiculous, because you clearly do not know what you're talking about, and it's not working for you. If you're gonna try to talk like this and have a conversation like this, at least do your research so you know what you're saying, because bro, yeah, maybe look at a diagram, have a conversation, ask your teacher. Like, this says learn fruit shape, and it's a bunch of fruits cut in half. There's a strawberry for 18 to 21 year olds, an orange, 21 to 27 year olds, pomelo, 27 to 38 year olds, avocado, 38 to 60 year old, and melon, 60 to 80 years old. And so these are all fruits that are like cut in half to look like a vulva, I believe is what they're going for here. And I am so perplexed by this. I am really confused by this. Firstly, the age gaps are so funny because they make absolutely no sense at all and are just incredibly random. And also, these fruits are like slowly getting larger in size. And so that to me is really funny to think about, the idea that like we stop growing, but our vulvas continue to grow. Like that. Like, I don't really know how that would work. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me at all. Like, where is it going? How is this occurring? What's happening? I do not understand the logic of this at all. Nothing about this makes literally any sense. Also, like, who looks at these fruits and are like, you know what that looks like? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put them on a chart. I'm gonna make an image comparing them to vulvas of people at different ages. Why? Why did your brain go there? Why did you think of that? What's happening? Why? That's all I need to know. Just why? Game Banana removes Persona 3 Reload Busty Yukari mod. And someone tweeted about it saying, I can't believe they removed the realistic mod from Persona 3. That's women anatomy. Their asses are bigger so they can please us men. Not going to play this. Yukari like all other women in the world. If you're woke, then don't comment. Women have bigger asses so that they can be appealing to men. So biologically, women have bigger asses so that we can be appealing to men. No. What purpose would that possibly serve? Why would that be a thing? In what world? How did you come up with this? Why is this something you're saying like it's a fact? And also, if you're only playing video games so that you can sexualize the video game characters, just stop playing the games. You're gonna stop playing purely because the character is no longer as sexually appealing to you, so you're just gonna give up the whole game. What's wrong with you? Like, genuinely, what's wrong with you? It's a game. You're meant to be playing because it's a game. Granted, I have no idea what this game is. I don't really think that matters. Don't just live your life doing things because you can sexualize women. It's a bit fucked up. And I think that you should get your priorities in order. I find it really fucking weird already that there is a mod that meant you could give a character a bigger ass. Like, that's fucking weird. I am not a gamer. I don't play very many games, but Kat does. And so I hear about things from her and mods that exist in certain games. That is so fucking weird and so fucked up. Why are you getting mods to, like, change people's appearances to make them more sexually attractive to you? That's not the point of playing a game, I don't think. I'm pretty sure the point of playing a game is to, like, play a game. And the characters don't exist to be sexually appealing to you. And if you only play the game and enjoy the game because you were sexually attracted to the fictional characters that you are playing as or with, then that's fucking weird. That's just weird to me. Get over it. Like, what? Why is it important to be, like, attracted to fictional characters in a fucking game? Just play the game. Just play the game. That's all. That's all I have to say. Just play the game. That's the last one that I have. But I think we covered it. I think that's enough for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you had a good giggle. This kind of reminded me of like an old video. This feels very like 2020 Queer Kiwi. We've gone like full circle back to an old sort of style video. But I hope that you enjoyed it. I've had a little bit of fun. Some good giggles. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. A lot of you are not subscribed, even though you watch all of my videos. So even if you think you're subscribed, you should have a check, because maybe you're not. And I would appreciate it if you were. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons, whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Raven, Elias, Chris, Samuel, and Knitting Menace. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi, and also TikTok, if I ever post on there again, The Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.